This is KC Sports Network, proudly presented by Emprise Bank.
Welcome to the program, man. Obviously, man, my name is Shawn Barber, ex-NFL player. This is the process. Everybody knows the process is always greater than what it produces. And each week, we're going to take you step by step through the process of what our Kansas City Chiefs need to do to perform each week. And we're going to get insight from former teammates, from different people in the community. And this week, man, we are so blessed to have my former teammate, my guy, my pal, Dante Hall, a.k.a. the Human Joysticks, a.k.a. the X Factor, in the studio to talk about his life, things he's doing in the community, and just what it means to be a wide receiver Hall of Fame, Ring of Honor, all-time great in the Kansas City community. Man, the CRA loves you.
Appreciate it, man.
Good to have you.
Appreciate it. Good to be here with you, my brother.
Hey, so let's just jump into it, man. First of all, man, hey, we're going to have you back multiple times, especially in the Kansas City, in the KC area, coming back for opening weekend. But when else are you coming back for Kansas City?
I'll be back next week for a signing. It's a private signing, though. And then I'm back again for the Chicago Bears game. My uncle, who was like a surrogate father to me, is from Chicago. But he grew up in, but he moved to Texas. And when my dad passed, he was like the father, that I didn't have. And he's a huge Chicago Bears fan. And the last time we came to a game together, the Bears beat us.
I remember that game.
Hearing that? Yep.
That comeback.
Yep. So I'm hoping the results are a little different this time.
No doubt. And then, obviously, you got to come back for Legends Weekend.
Oh, yeah. Definitely be back for that.
Right?
Yeah. I've been to many Legends Weekends. It's gonna be great to actually be the one they're honoring this time.
Well, it's no surprise, Dante Hall Legends Weekend is going to be not nominated, but inducted into the Chiefs Ring of Honor, the Hall of Fame. Man, we really quickly going to just go through a storyboard of his career here in Kansas City, just to let you know who is actually being inducted and why he's being inducted. 7 seasons with the Chiefs, 2-time All-Pro, 2-time Pro Bowl, 2003, 2002, NFL All-Decade team.
That's my favorite.
All decade?
That's my favorite.
A 10-year period time, all decade team for the 2000s. First team as a punt returner, second team as a kick returner. He has 11 total return TDs, 5 from the punt, 6 from the kickoff return, and then a career total combined yardage. He don't know how many combined yardage he has. 12,356 yards combined.
That's why my damn knees and ankles hurt. A lot of running. And that's not counting Coach Ramil's practice.
No, that ain't counting the practice. That's just game. We ain't talking about practice.
Yeah, we ain't talking about practice.
AI, we ain't talking about practice. We talking about the game. Man, that's a crazy career, man. And honor, man, listen, I'm going to give you flowers while you still here with us.
Thank you, brother. Thank you.
And, man, I'll be there. I'll be there, brother.
Better.
No doubt. But let's talk about the mindset of when you came from A&M, getting drafted in the 5th round, and then entering Kansas City, and then what's your mindset maybe from year one to then being a veteran, then actually like culminating that Hall of Fame career?
So my mindset when I first got to the league was just to make the team. I didn't realize that even though you're drafted, you still have to make the team. So, that was my first mindset, just make the team. And from there, once I guess you could say I got established. I went over to NFL Europe. I had to transition from running back because I had always played running back my entire life. So I go over to Scotland after my rookie year. I come back. It's year 2. I'm still having to make the team. But once I was established and knew I was going to be on the team, the mindset from there was to be great again, because my rookie year in the NFL was probably the only time I had lost my confidence at any point in my life or career. Junior high, high school, college, I knew I was a guy, knew I was a man. I succeeded right away at every level. So when I got to the NFL, it was a rude awakening, like you're going to have to go to the next level to sustain success at this level. So once I was established, knew I was on the team, then it was just a matter of being great again. And then once I started making Pro Bowls, I just wanted to win. So I went from just make the team, be great again like you were at the previous level, to now, okay, can we win? So that was pretty much the levels of my mindset.
Man, we talk about levels and stepping up, being able just to have that growth mindset versus a fixed mindset. In college, players have a fixed mindset. It's a certain amount of time you're on the field. The schedule is set. If you're on the first team, second team, special teams, all those things are just so kind of almost written in stone. And you just have a certain position you're supposed to play for the team to execute that, and that's it. When you get to the pros, man, it's the world is your oyster. Mm-hmm. It's starting back over, small fish, big bowl, however you want to say it. The speed of the game does pick up. And you see how many guys, average NFL career now is about 2.5 to 3 years. There are some guys that are all ACC, all SEC, all Big 12, Big 10, that enter the NFL and do not make a second contract because they just can't handle not just the speed of the game that starts to tick up, but then the information, the play.
I was going to say the mental aspect. And that was the biggest adjustment that I realized in the NFL. Like, these guys are so astute and students of the game and technically sound. And at this level, if you're not technically sound and you're not diving in that playbook and you don't know it as good as the middle linebacker, the quarterback, or the head coach or the coordinators, like you say, you're going to last about 2.5 years. You're not going to see that second contract. So you hit it on the head, man. This level is really about the mental edge.
Yeah, you got to be a quarterback on the field no matter what position. Obviously, linebackers are the smartest position on the defense. Quarterback's smartest on the offense, but we ain't gonna talk about that. But Dante, as they would say, man, like if I'm a guy, I'm entering the league. What most people don't understand is that there are linebackers like me who looks at a running back, and then I'm looking at your film, and I'm saying, okay, every time he messes with his gloves, he's going out for a route. Every time he puts his hands on his knees, he's going to get the ball as a running back. Every time he has his hands on his pads, on his thigh pads, now he's going to protect. So he's giving away tails just by his alignment. 100%. And then, hey, if you don't got no visor, I'm looking at your eyes and I'm watching you look. Maybe this running back always stops his eyes on whatever hole he's about to hit. So it's all these tails as a linebacker. We watching film. We trying to pick up on all these little tails. But then you had to convert to the wide receiver position. And so now that's a whole nother set of tails about your splits, right? The split of your feet. How wide you lined up.
Reading safeties opposed to linebackers and defensive linemen. Yeah, all of that. It was a big adjustment.
So those things are just adjustments. And again, when you talk about the fact that you converted from a running back to a wide receiver, entering the pros, and then from your rookie year to then making Pro Bowls, have consistency throughout your career. Again, man, like I don't think many people, when they think about the human joystick, the X Factor and things, they just don't understand the journey you went through to actually get to this point and then to dominate this league and now to be where you are now, man. Like I said, Legends Weekend, man, that's going to be a celebration, but not just for the moment, but for what you did from, man, Little League all the way up until then. That's right. All of those times, the opportunity is going to be cemented in a ceremony to represent that. I want to go over a few more things. Obviously, as you retired from the NFL, these are some accolades that just tells people what Dante Hall is even off the field. You were the Boys and Girls Club of Greater Kansas City 2003 Role Model of the Year, Kansas City Sports Commission's Special Achievement Award for Professional Athletes. You got that. Big Brother, Big Sister champion in the Most Wanted auction. You mentioned the NFL Europe. You're in the NFL Europe Hall of Fame with the Scottish Claymores. And then last but not least, and this is currently right now, you are the International Goodwill Ambassador, brand ambassador for the NFL when it comes to the Chiefs game in Germany when they play the Dolphins, I think. I mean,
that's good research. That's good research right there. You forgot one that I'm also proud of. So I now live in the greater New York, New Jersey area. And right after I did the Big Brothers, Big Sisters campaign, I became the honorary chairman for the UNCF. It's the United Negro College Fund, which helps, brown people, young kids and their needs as they go to college. So I was really proud of that. My wife got me involved with that. It was a great honor to be honorary chairman for this year's campaign. But yeah, man, it's important to, take my blessings and things that I'm fortunate and try to help and give back. As you mentioned, my journey started when I actually didn't play Little League. My journey actually started in middle school. And from that point all the way until this very day, I've had so many people help me, high school coaches, teachers, people throughout the community. And I just always have wanted to give back and stay involved in the community.
Well, you've done it, man. You're not only a mountain of a man, a pillar in the community,
Brother.
Followed up your commitment to service
Yep.
With the community by helping those that need, that don't have a voice, a little bit less fortunate than you. So, man, we appreciate everything you're doing. Hey, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to come back and we're going to talk about Dante Hall, the X Factor human joystick, and we're going to find out what he's doing, not off the field, not on the field. We're going to find out, can he get into a time machine with me and go back to some of those great days and great seasons of his career? Once again, this is The Process with Shawn Barber.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network. Make sure you download our new app. Find it on the App Store or Google Play. Just search KC Sports Network.
All right, we're back with The Process, man. The process is always greater than the product. And we got our own Dante Hall, human joystick, X Factor with us. And now, listen, man, you see how clean he is, man. We got to give shout-outs to his barber, DeLon. Man, this sucker made his way to the studio. And Dante was like, hey, man, is this an audio broadcast? I said, no, this is a podcast. He said, oh, no. You ain't going to have me on there looking crazy. I got to get my guy in here. And, man, got him looking crispy and clean.
Mr.
So shout out to my man, DeLon. I could take my hat off, but I ain't see my man, DeWan. Yeah, I got Purple Label. Got to show them some love, too.
That's my man, too, but he be high side on me sometimes. You know, he be putting me back at the bottom of the barrel, man. At the totem pole. I used to be his guy. Now it's Kelsey and my home. So I done got put at the bottom, so I had to call.
Hey, sometimes we got to step to the side and let the current guys shine, right? Man. So, hey, we letting them current guys. Hey, I'm moving all my kids to Friday. We got a Wednesday appointment. I'm moving all my kids to Friday.
I don't think this is a Purple Label type of head. You know, no hair. I don't think they specialize in bald heads up there. That's why I be getting demoted.
Oh, well, listen. Hey, you know what? We're going to chop it up barbershop style, right? The way we do it around the locker room, whatever. So, listen, I know y'all know him as X Factor. You know him, human joystick. Man, this Tater Head to me.
And this barbershop to me.
So Tater Head and barbershop, listen, the one thing we have in common is our commitment to special teams when we played the game. Special teams, now they call them special forces. I've been to some colleges where instead of the guys being vices and gunners, they call them rangers and SEALs, like special ops.
Yep.
The appreciation that teams now have, because Dante, I know when me and you played, it was very unique to have a team actually give a third of the meeting time
and practice time, yes,
to the special teams. It was something that was like some teams almost took it as an afterthought.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
I experienced that.
Okay, let's go.
So I had Coach Vermeil, and obviously, I don't know if you guys noticed or not. I know you know, but Dick Vermeil was the first special teams coach in the NFL. So it made sense that we would dedicate so much time to special teams. I was definitely fortunate, blessed, and lucky to have him come in my second year in the league because it made all the difference in my career. And then Herman Edwards came after, and he was one of those guys you're talking about. Special team was an afterthought. How fast can we get off the field and go? Offense, defense was 90%. We spent about 10% of special teams in meetings and practice. That was it. And it showed on the field. We wasn't as good as we were when we played for Dick Vermeil.
I think a lot of people and coaches in general think that, man, I can always just fair catch it. Mm-hmm. I can always just let the ball go out the end zone. I don't have to return it. I mean, if you're going to punt it to me or kick it to me, it's basically my ball now. And, you know, we can choose to set up a return. But I don't think those coaches understands how much yardage, when you flip the field on a great special teams, 60-yard punt, a good kickoff that you sky kick it and it ends up, they have to return it. Now you tackle them inside the 15-yard line. Man, some coaches don't understand how that extra 10 yards, that extra forcing them to start their offensive play calling from inside the 10, inside the 15, that changes the entire makeup and mentality of that offensive coordinator because now he's not thinking about first down.
Yep.
He's thinking about just trying to get enough yardage to be able to punt the ball.
Exactly.
And I think that's something that was almost a lost art while we were playing. And so the few teams I was on, they really paid homage and paid a lot of opportunity and credit to the special teams. So Coach Harbaugh, who is now with the Ravens, he was my special team coach with the Eagles. So he was a special teams guy, got a head coaching job. So you know the Ravens offense, defense, and special teams always split time. Obviously, when we was here with Coach Vermeil, split time. But again, I went to the Texans, not so much.
Who's the coach for the Texans?
Gary Kubiak.
Yeah, see, offensive guy. He probably think he can win every day by throwing for 500 yards.
That's right. I'm going to outscore him.
Yeah.
And then we're going to play defense.
And then Herman Edwards, defensive guy, he thinks he can just shut anybody down. So it definitely, the mentality goes into the head coach and what his mentality.
Yeah, so we look at special teams, and we look at some of the ways they've adjusted the mindset of special teams to being more of a special forces unit. And then there are some good special teams plays that we had when we was together. Now I'm gonna mention this mentality because I feel like whenever we saw each other, it was always after a big play,
and you would always come up to me. I just took one to the house, 90 yards, arrowheads going crazy. Barbershop would come up to me. What's next?
What's the next play?
What's the next play?
What's next? I got that highlighted. I got the on the side.
Man, let me catch my breath first, man. What's next? But I know what you was doing. That's good. Do it again.
Yeah.
Do it again. Be great again.
Yeah.
And I loved it. I appreciated that.
Just understanding the opportunities that we had at this game, man, it was going to be limited. And every time you had the opportunity to touch the ball as a return guy, man, that's the opportunity to take the house. Whether the other 10 guys block for you or not, as you showed later on in your career, you don't need much blocking to take it to the house. But having that mindset and that opportunity just to make the best out of every opportunity, no matter what it was, not many guys come into the league and realize how much it is honor to be a starter on special teams. Because when I think about starting units, there's 11 offensive starters, 11 defense, but it's also about 11 special teamers that are core special teamers that, man, they're going to play 15 to 25 snaps a game, and the amount of yardage and special teams they're responsible for, whether they're covering the kick and keeping teams from returning it and letting the offensive start at the 50, hitting them inside like all in the 4 phases of special teams, making it's called a field goal attempt because you don't always make it. So not having that protection to right for a field goal and putting those 3 points up, man, that is such a big momentum swing for a team. In every drive, you get close to the 50 or across the 50, putting 3 points on the board and not taking those kind of opportunities for granted, man. Special teams is a big, big part of every team, and every championship team pays attention.
Yep, and you talk about mentality. I think what happens a lot of times, I would say 99% of guys that make it to the NFL were probably starters in college. Yes. So they get to the NFL, and their mentality is, I'm not playing special teams. Mm-hmm. But if they can switch that mentality, what you just alluded to, then now your team is cohesive. It's a whole, it's a full 1, 2, 3, like you say, offense, defense, special teams. When you get a full, complete team like that, that's when you can take off.
A 3-phase team is special, the next play mentality, and the next special teams being replaced by the word special force unit. Those are the things that teams are doing now to make their special teams. And then we talk about, last but not least, this is something that Coach Harbaugh taught us. It's called the tip of the spear mentality.
What's that?
Tip of the spear is if you have a suit of armor on, those pieces of armor, there's always a little crease in between it. And if you think about a spear, back in the day when people had full armors, they would use a spear to get under those layers and get to a person's heart. So the first kickoff of every team, when we got ready, he would look at us and, you are the tip of the spear. You are all 11 guys. Any one of you can be the tip of the spear. Wedge busting.
Find that little crease.
Because the momentum, the energy, the atmosphere that you can change and start a game based off of that covering team, that cover unit, or if you're on a return team, taking it to the house, you take all
the return. Don't even have to go to the house.
Just anything, right? A big play on special teams can change the whole atmosphere and the whole mindset of the entire, whether you're on the road, if you take all the air out of the stadium and you deflate the crowd, or you're at home.
Or you can change momentum. I watch a lot of sports, and I love to watch moments when that momentum changes. Yes. And like you say, it could be blowing a guy up on kickoff coverage, a gunner down in the ball inside the 2, big return like Kadarius Toney did in the Super Bowl for the Chiefs. You can go on and on and on, but like momentum swingers can really happen on special teams.
People remember the turnovers, tip of the spear. People talk about momentum changes. They talk about big play potential, and they talk about turning the field. So now instead of turning the field, we're going to turn back the clock.
Okay.
All right. This is going to be a Back to the Future moment. All right. Marty McFly.
I just binge watched all 3 of those.
All right.
The game with the chill.
Doc, what you know about the date?
About all of that.
The date was October 21st. 2015, when they turned it back and went Back to the Future, they jumped in a DeLorean, and it was 1.21 gigawatts. So instead of going back to 2015, we can go back to 2003, Dante. It's still October, but it's October the 5th.
Oh, Denver.
Yes, sir.
Denver.
Fourth quarter, 8 minutes, 45 seconds on the clock. The Broncos are leading the Chiefs 23-17. We force them to make a decision. They're going to punt the ball. The defense, we stood up. We made them punt the ball. They had 3 decisions to make. They could do a corner kick, which is called a coffin kick, right? Try to punt it out of bounds around the 10-yard line, 5-yard line. They can do a sky punt, which makes the returner return the ball from inside the 10.
Or fair catch it.
Or they could just do a regular punt out the end zone and make us start on the 20. Well, the offense we had, nobody wanted to give our offense the ball at the 20. Let's, Denver decided, let's sky punt it. Let's make Dante either return it from inside the 5 or fair catch it. Either way, it's going to help our team out. That was the wrong decision. Denver Broncos, whoever your coach was at the time, that was the wrong decision. Now, I was on defense, so as I got off the field, right, we forced them to punt. I get off the field, the return team takes.
You weren't out there blocking for your boy?
I wanted to be. I was tired. Fourth quarter. I tapped out. I think G Steels took my spot. So maybe Monty Bice, one of those two took my spot for that return. So I'm beside Coach Ramil. I'm tired. Hey, he passed me up a great job forcing the punt. The punt goes. He's looking at it, and I see him. He sees you take a couple steps back. He says, no. I'll turn around and see what's happening, and I hear him say, no. But Dante, what happened?
Well, what had happened was I had went into that particular play thinking, I'm not fair catching. I'm returning this regardless. Like you said, it was the fourth quarter. We're down. Our offense had kind of stalled out the last couple of series. I went in with the mentality of, I'm returning this kick no matter what. So even though it was sky high, I think I caught it on like the 8. Mm-hmm. The mentality was, I'm catching this ball and I'm making a play. And I'm just going to live with the results. That's exactly what I went into that thinking. And when I caught it, I could tell my teammates didn't have that same mentality because I didn't see any red. Nobody was blocking. So I just had to take it to backyard, kick the ball in the hall type of theatrics because I didn't play Little League. Say that earlier. Yeah. What I played as a kid was you toss it up and you got to make everybody miss. Nobody's blocking or anything. I took it back to those days.
Man, I love that. And I think that, going back as a special teams guy on the return team, I think we actually tried to call a block. And so I think we were actually going and try to block it.
Yep.
And that's why we wouldn't set up to block for you because we were going after to try to block the kick. Like you said, the offense stuttered a little bit. We thought, hey, this would be a good play on special teams. If we can get a block right here, set us up in the fourth quarter and try to win the game. And so, yeah,
because I think they were kicking it from like midfield.
They were.
So they, typically you're not going to get a return out of that. So it makes sense to think we're going to go for a block.
Yep.
But what happens when you go for a block, those guys have to stay in and block longer.
That's right.
So it gives you a little more time to actually field the ball and get busy.
Well, you got busy, all right. 93 yards later, the Chiefs are now leading 24-23, courtesy of our man, the human joystick X Factor, returns that ball for 93 yards for a touchdown. And I don't know if you know this, but I do. That touchdown was just not a touchdown that won the game. That was the 4th touchdown in a row. 4 weeks in a row, you had a return for a touchdown, and that is a NFL record, not a Chiefs record. In the NFL, you are the only player, or you were the first player, because now I think Devin Hester.
Devin Hester got 5. Yep.
But you did 4 games in a row, and at the time,
that's the record. In a row is a record.
Yep.
But 5, I think if we would have got 5, that would have broke the record at the time.
Yes. Well, you did get a 5th one, but it's postseason.
It's postseason, so it didn't count for the regular.
Count for the regular season. So hey, tomato, how you want to call it. Either way, NFL record, all-time great, 4 consecutive return touchdowns.
Still eating off that return. 20 years later, I'm still eating off that return.
Loving it. Oh, man. And real quick, we got about 2 minutes before we go to break. Man, I just wanted to talk about, people here, obviously, if I watch the video of that return, I know why they call you the human joystick. Like, that's a non-negotiable. But when you talk about the X Factor, was that a nickname that came up in college, or like, where did the X Factor come from?
X Factor just came up when I got converted from running back to wide receiver.
Gotcha.
You got the Z, you have the Y, you have the X and the F. That was the positions in our offense. They moved me to the X receiver. And I just remember, I think it was my second year, first year playing wide receiver. Wasn't making it to the playoffs. You know how it is. Those dog days in the winter, got 3 or 4 games left in the season. You know you're not going anywhere. You have to conjure up some type of energy and fun to make practice, not just awful. And I just remember just messing around like, if I score, I'm going to throw up the X. I'm representing the X's, yada, yada, yada. Just messing around and actually scored in the game. And post-game, they started asking me about, my first touchdown. I think it was against the Jets. And just jokingly, it's like, I'm the X Factor. You're thinking about Tony Gonzalez and Priest Holmes. And, I'm like the X Factor, the X in algebra, the unknown factor. And it took off. And it's been with me ever since.
Well, let me tell you where that became an icon status was. I'm big with dates. It was 2002. It was December 15th. We were playing those Broncos again. Trent Green threw you a 5-yard out route for first down. And let me tell you, I don't know about the X, the Y, on the Nintendo game.
Yeah.
I don't know what the right
L1, L1.
But after you made the catch, you did a crossover, a stiff arm, a step back, and then you were gone down the side.
That's my favorite play.
So I don't know how many, what combination of buttons you need to push.
All of them. I was hitting the ball.
But you did something wicked, bro. You caught that ball, it was 5-yard out for the first down, and then you crossed over, you stiff arm, you step back. Champ Bailey went this way, Ian Gold went this way, Al, whoever his name is, all of them suckers look like clowns falling, and then you took off down the sideline and outrun everybody else on the team. And then when you got to the end zone, you went through the legs like Michael Jordan, flipped the ball out.
Emphatically threw it up.
Hit him with the X.
Now, if you go back and look at that, look where I'm directing that at. Look at why I'm directing that. I was sideline.
Oh, okay.
I was sideline.
I was going to say, that's cryptic.
I was doing it at our sideline at the coordinator because I was like, give me the ball. I can make plays. Like, give me the ball. You see that? So that was emphatically at Al Saunders.
It was. Well, he must have heard that and said that because your stat line, and again, I don't like telling you your own stat line, but I don't think you really would know this. But that game, you had 5 receptions. You had 143 yards and 2 touchdowns. That was one of them.
But we lost.
But we lost.
But we saw it don't matter.
And
don't matter.
That's what I'm talking about. Kids these days realize, like, have the game of your life. Have as many stats, have many catches. You got to win the ball. You got to do what you got to do to win the ball.
Then it makes the next week, everybody's happy. Coaches are happy. The staff, everybody's happy. Like, I had that, but everybody's, got your Doppler down,
Had the Doppler down.
It's like,
man. All right, well, real quick, we're going to take one more break, man. Then we'll get back and we finish it with Dante Hall. Obviously, you're listening to The Process is Greater Than Product, featuring Shawn Barber and yours truly, Dante Hall.
Thanks for listening to KC Sports Network. Make sure you download our new app. Find it on the App Store or Google Play. Just search KC Sports Network.
Can you believe we've had 7 months without an NFL game? It seems crazy, but it's a good thing that that's over now, as the NFL is here and DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is giving you a can't-miss offer for Week 1. This week, new customers can get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5 on any NFL game. DraftKings is also hooking everyone up with game day greatness. All customers can take advantage of 2 new offers every single game day this September. Check the app to see what you get. Download now and use the code KCSN to sign up. New customers can take home $200 in bonus bets instantly just for betting $5. That's code KCSN, only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.1800gambler.net. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, 21 plus age varies by jurisdiction, void in Ontario. See dkng.co/football for eligibility, terms, and responsible gambling resources. Bonus bets expire 7 days after issuance. Eligibility and deposit restrictions apply.
All right, welcome back to The Process. Man, listen, real quick, Dante, man, listen, it's been a treat. It's always been just phenomenal having you come back to KC. Man, the kingdom loves you.
I love the kingdom.
Man, brother like another mother, brother from another mother. Man, it was an awesome just being on the field as your teammate in the locker room and just growing together, man. And then, I mean, obviously we both have like healthy family and wives and kids and everything that just makes, man, football life into reality and just enjoying all the fruit from our hard work and lawyers and stuff like that, man. But man, this is the season. It's come. It's time. The Detroit Lions have arrived and they want to get after our Kansas City Chiefs. They're coming into Arrowhead GEHA Field at Arrowhead Stadium. They come in here to try to, take what is ours. So let's talk about some factors of the game, talking about some things that are going on in the Lions versus Chiefs game. And then at the end, we'll make maybe a quick whoop around the NFL and see some other teams.
Cool. Quick fun fact.
Go for it.
Head coach, Dan Campbell, played with him at A&M. Yeah, he's about blocking tight end. Defensive coordinator, Aaron Glenn,
AG.
Lived around the corner from him.
Yeah, he had Aggie too, right?
At the A&M. Basically, he was the guy in the neighborhood. I was like, oh, if he can make it, I can make it. Because I saw him leave Nimitz, went to the same high school. He balled at Nimitz. I saw him go to Texas A&M. I went to Texas A&M. Saw him make it to the league with the Jets. And I felt like he can make it. He's drinking the same water I'm drinking. He's breathing the same air I'm breathing. He live right around the corner. I can make it. So having that constant reminder of like, yeah, your goals are attainable and achievable. So those two guys, I'm rooting for them to do well, but I want them to lose.
As we talk, it's all about the victory, the dub, right, with the dub. So obviously our offense, we're going to be hindered a little bit. We don't know the status officially of Travis Kelce. Again, let's talk about like facing any injuries, any lower body injuries where it may have cost you miss a game or miss a few practices and had you doubtful during the game or anything like that during your season.
Yeah, I had high ankle sprains. That was my kryptonite at college and the pro level. I was pretty fortunate, never had any real knee issues, jammed a couple of fingers, but anytime I missed a game, it was due to ankles. And for me, my style of running, if I didn't feel good in practice, I couldn't go out and play. That's just me. It's probably different for maybe a linebacker, offensive lineman, but for me, I needed to have 100% confidence in my lower extremities because I knew I was going to make some hard, wicked cuts. So I had to have confidence in my body holding up. And if I couldn't go through a full practice, come in after practice, no swelling, and feel okay, then mentally, I just didn't feel like I was able to play my game.
Yeah, and the Chiefs got to have a long-term perspective when they look at this. Like, Travis is not a guy that really need or want him to be out there at 85, 90% in week one.
Yep.
You want to make sure that when we get to the end of the season and head into the playoffs where it's when to go home, that's the time where we want Travis to be as healthy as possible and the offense to be flowing as well as possible because it doesn't matter which 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, no matter what postseason seat you get. And he's got to make sure you're good enough.
And this is not a divisional game. So like you said, if he's not, at least 90%, sit him, let these other guys gain experience, your Noah Grays and people like that. And, obviously we don't want to lose any games, but if you're going to have to drop a game to protect the guy, this would be the one.
And then defensively, all right, the elephant in the room is Chris Jones, the contract, he consists.
Pay that man. Go ahead. Sorry.
So, question, answer. That's the answer. The solution is to pay that man.
Pay that man. He's earned it. He's the third best player on the team, if not the second best. Pay that man. He's earned it. Yeah, I think he's the 9th paid defensive lineman? That can't be. He's got to be top 5 because he's a top 2, if not number 1 defensive guy.
At $20 million, he would be somewhere around like saying 9 to 12 something.
Yeah, we got to bump it up a little bit. He got at least need to be. Now, he may not get Aaron Donald money,
which is about 33.
Yeah, okay, but meet me in the middle.
Yeah,
meet me in the middle.
Between 25 and 33, maybe 28, 27.
I think they'll get it done.
I think they will too. I mean, obviously, again, it just comes to a situation where I think from an organization who has just won 2 Super Bowls in 5 seasons, you don't probably feel you're in the same, we got to do anything to win because we have already won. And so you're thinking about future standpoint, you're not really looking to pay players based off their past performance. Whereas when the Rams, when they redid Aaron Donald's contract, they were basically repaying him for years and years of being underpaid.
Look what they got.
And winning the Super Bowl, and now they're caught, right? Because they paid him, They paid Ramsey, they paid the running. I mean, they just started to pay everybody. based off of how happy they were.
And they have no talent.
And now they ain't got no draft picks. They ain't got no talent. They eating a bunch of dead money.
Yeah.
And I think as an organization, no matter how much we want Chris Jones back in the building, back on the field, we definitely don't want our organization to fall in that kind of
That's right.
money pit type.
But that's why they pay Brett Veach and Mark Donald and those guys, the big bucks, to figure it out.
Figure it out.
Figure it out. I'm gonna tell you how to figure it out. Hey, Patrick Mahomes, get some of that money back, man. Help us out. Give us the Tom Brady deal. We need that Tom Brady deal from Patrick. But I think they'll figure it out. These guys are smart, and like you say, they know what they're doing. They sustained success for a very long time, even going all the way back to Philly. So they know what they're doing, and you're right. They can't pay for past productivity. But I think they'll figure out a way to pay him and be able to pay some of the guys that's coming up in the future.
Well, if he can do anything in the next 2 or 3 years where he's done last year, with 15 and a half sacks from a defensive tackle standpoint is phenomenal. He is a game changer. He's unblockable. Even when he's getting double teamed, it makes everybody else singled up. So that allows the Whartons and the Mike Danas and Noddies and Greek Freak,
all of them.
FAU rookie, like all of those guys' potential to be better players actually do hinge upon Chris Jones being on the field, active, and being Chris Jones.
He's a crucial piece. Now, if we are content with our 2 Super Bowls and we don't want to win anymore, don't pay the guy. But if you want to go back, horse another trophy, get another ring, you better pay that guy, because as much as Kelsey and Mahomes get the credit, any astute football player knows he's the next guy. And without Chris Jones, we're not winning any Super Bowl.
Yeah, he's a unicorn on defense. He's one of one. The way he locks out with his arms, he's unblockable.
And quick.
The quickest route to the quarterback is a straight line.
Mm-hmm.
And so right over the center, is a straight line to the quarterback. If that center and guard can't block him, it destroys whatever offensive game plan you think you're going to enact.
That's right.
And put on pun.
And he's solid in the run game. You rarely get a guy that can rush the quarterback from the nose tackle position and stop the run at the same time.
Yeah, he's a beast. So those are the two sides of the ball. Keys to victory are going to be for the Chiefs to find an additional weapon to use with the absence of Kelsey. Like you said, a step up of Noah Gray. I mean, we have a whole room of wide receivers, Rice and Ross, and the ones that are him, MVS, Scott Moore.
Well, we got the 2 most important things that you have not mentioned. We got Mahomes and we got Big Red.
Yes,
Big Red you can go out there right now and play with Mahomes and Big Red and put up 25 points.
Yes, sir.
So when those 2 guys are connected, I feel like they can almost trot out anybody. They showed us that last year. I'm not gonna lie. I had a little doubt and ambition when we got rid of Tyreek.
Okay.
And they
wide receiver, you gotta.
Well, Tyreek was just a generational talent.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, this might be, a little step back. And those guys showed me, as long as those 2 are together, we're Gucci.
Yeah. And the history was tell us when Patrick doesn't have Kelsey, there was a game when Kelsey had COVID. They played against the Pittsburgh Steelers.
What happened? I don't remember that game.
Oh, the offense went off.
You see what I'm saying?
He found
other guys,
10 different receivers.
I'm saying
38 points, something like that. Like there was no loss in productivity. And from a football mindset, I almost believe it's easier to guard the Chiefs when you know that Kelsey's going to get 10 targets.
He's looking for 3rd and 5.
Like we know what we got to take away, and then everybody's got to be like, he gonna come to you later, but you ain't the primary.
That's right.
If you take out Kelsey, now you don't know where he's starting to read at no more. So you don't know if his first read gonna be MVS, it's gonna be Scott Moore, it's gonna be Darius,
because you don't have film on that. You don't have film to
in one game, and in that one game, he was all over completion. It was a phenomenal foundation of what this offense can even be like if we think about a few years down the road when Kelsey is no longer, when he retires and he's Father Time catches.
Let me play devil's advocate for this moment. Hell with it. Suit up. You got 10 days of rest. It's a Thursday night game. You don't play again. It's Sunday. So you got a little longer time to heal, get the swelling back down. There's no structure or damage. Come on, get out there, Kelsey.
Red zone. Give him 10 plays in the red zone.
You're going to go.
Oh, I'll take 10 plays in the red zone. Because that's where the one thing that Kelsey does is when the field gets shrunk, defensively, we get a lot better.
That's easy.
Because we ain't got to cover 14. We only got to cover 20 yards.
Yeah.
We get really aggressive. those windows get real, lanes get tight.
Yeah. It's hard.
What want to throw because of that? I don't want to give up a field. Like I already got a field.
Got points on the board.
Got points on the board. I don't want to. So it's like everybody starts to hesitate.
But here's the problem: if you do that, now you coming in. He's only in for those particular plays. Now we put double coverage, triple coverage. You know you're going to him because he's only coming in on red zone. You saying use him as a decoy?
Because even in goal line package, you don't have enough bodies to double him. Like that's the whole thing. When we go to the goal line package and defensively, you try to change your personnel.
Mm-hmm.
There is no extra safety. You take the extra safety out to put the extra linebacker in, and that extra linebacker to stop the run. So now that's the only time on the field you're getting 1-on-1. Like Tony
You're not
G.
stopping him.
You can't stop him. That's why Tony G was so dominant in the red zone because like it's not enough room to double it.
Yeah,
that's like wasting.
That makes sense.
He just so again. We're solutions. We're solution based. Obviously, if he plays, he's gonna score in the red zone. If he doesn't, he'll be ready for next week. But defensively, I just think it's very hard to defend the Chiefs or come up with a defense philosophy when now it's only 24 hours from game time. You don't know if Kelsey's playing or not. All the defense you put in to take him away and all that, are you gonna now
apply that to Noah Gray?
You ain't gonna do that. So now you got to go play some stuff.
You might have to. You may not have a choice. You may have to apply the same principles. You don't want to be trying versus Andy Reid to adjust your game plan you've been practicing for. You know they've been practicing all training camp leading up to this game.
Dan Campbell, AG, good luck. Keep that play calling the same. That's our best bet. You trying to change it now?
You're gonna have guys confused. You're gonna have defensive guys thinking. That's what we try to do on offense. We want y'all thinking.
Shift motion.
Not reacting.
Shift motion. We talking.
And we hiking.
You thought I said something. You go out, you go in. Now we doubled out. Nobody covered it in. You get us moving. Our eyes get off our keys.
You're thinking and not reacting.
Distractions, miscommunications leads to offensive production. Like do whatever you got to do on offense to create a miscommunication on the defense side of the ball. You're going to win the down, and you're probably going to win the ball.
You know what Al Sanders used to tell me? Not me. Tell us in the offensive room. I loved it. He was like, the defense, y'all got to be right every snap.
Every time.
We just got to be right 4 times, 5 times, and this bombs over back. That's some touchdown, 35 points if you're wrong. We got to be right 5 times.
First and 10, they run a route to you, you fall, incomplete pass.
Yep.
Any down in the game, I fall on defense, touchdown. That's Katie Barty. That's lights out, bro. Like
we got to be right 4 or 5 times a game. That's it.
You ever thought about that?
Think about that. Offense 4 or 5 times, 4 or 5 big plays, points on the board. Defense got to be right every single time. It's kind of like returning kicks. You can drop a pass as a tight end, receiver, running back. It's second down. Drop another, third down. Drop another and you punt it. You drop a punt, it's usually automatic points. At least 3 points for the team. Got to be right So I kind of feel you, dog. I ain't play defense, but I feel you.
That mindset. All right, really quick around the league. I'm gonna mention a couple of other key matchups just to get a little quick reflex of what you think. Cincinnati is playing Cleveland. Joe Burrows and his wide receivers at Cleveland.
Ooh.
So Joe Burrows versus Deshaun Watson. Obviously, Cincinnati got the 3-headed wide receivers, right?
And Higgins, Chase, and what's that? Higgins, Chase, and what's the other one? Tyler Boyd.
Boyd.
Yep.
And Cleveland has Chubb, who is a freaking Mack truck.
What's that tight end they got? They got a nice tight end.
Goku.
And then they got Amari Cooper. Hey, they in Cleveland? Upset alert. I like Cleveland at home.
Gotcha. Well-rounded. The next is San Fran versus Pittsburgh. Purdy's back. Elbows healed.
But no Nick Bosa. He's dealing his same situation as Chris Jones.
They got a couple more days to get him signed. I think Nick Bosa gonna sign to like the Sunday morning of, and they're gonna give him like $35 million.
But they're playing in Pittsburgh?
At Pittsburgh.
Oh, cross country? I like Pittsburgh.
Pickens the Pickens.
And they were looking good in preseason.
Pickens is different.
Yes. I like Pittsburgh in this game.
And Randy Moss and those guys,
mm-hmm.
They don't talk about Jamar Jefferson. They ain't talking about Devontae Adams. Every time they got a chance to talk about a wide receiver position, they talking about this Pickens, who is making catches over his head, between his legs, looking like a young OBJ.
And the quarterback that stole him, Kenny Pickett, is looking great. Yes, he had a great preseason. So,
and the defense is healthy now.
I like Pittsburgh.
All right. The Las Vegas Raiders versus the Denver Broncos. AFC West. We need to know about that game just because it's
two divisional game.
Is at Denver, Mile High.
Echo. Is it Mile High?
Sean Payton's first game, him and Wilson going against Jacobs and Adams.
Is what's my man porn star Jimmy? What's his name?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy Garoppolo. He
running the show in Vegas.
Is he healthy?
He healthy.
Now Devontae, I like the Vegas. I like Vegas.
Vegas, the Raiders. That air, don't let the air get too thin on you.
Because the Broncos have had a lot of injuries in their wide receiver.
Oh my goodness!
So even if they play, the time is going to be off. Russell, I like Las Vegas.
I like that pick. The Miami Dolphins versus the Chargers.
Ooh, what a game!
Miami at the Chargers.
They got
Waddle, we got Cheetah, we got Tua. We're going against Herbert and Eckler.
And you got the big guns, the receivers coming back. Keenan Allen, Williams.
They got the new rookie,
man. That's
Johnson.
I think I have to go with the Chargers on this,
right.
Only because of the travel. That's tough when you go across country.
All right. 3 more left. Philadelphia and New England. Philly all the way. Only the reason I brought that up is because that Super Bowl hangover. When you historically, when you lose the Super Bowl, that first game of the next season is just always like something ain't right.
Well, I'm looking at Jalen Hurts. Grew up in Houston, where I grew up at. I know this kid's stock, his DNA, his core, what he's made of. He's not going to allow for a Super Bowl hangover. He stays home. He comes from Alabama, where they have to win and go to championship year after year. So he been a leader. I think will eliminate that. And they got better
on defense. Georgia better. University of Georgia in the pro. The whole Georgia defense.
So I like Philly in that game.
Yes, sir. We got 2 left. Dallas at the Giants.
I'm going to that game.
See,
I'm going to that game.
I knew that was a game to watch.
I'm going to that game. My old special teams coach was Thomas McGahee here when you were here. He was when you got here when 02? 03. Yeah, he was here 02 and then left. So anyway, 02, Thomas McGahee, who was the special team coach for the Giants, he's been there 10 years now, and he's my golf partner. So I'm going to support him. So I'm a little biased on this.
Dallas. I know
I'm playing for the Giants.
Oh man, Dallas.
Knock it off. What?
CD Lamb. CD. They ain't gonna stop.
Dakota Prescott.
You be hating on Dakota. Michael Parsons is going. He's the future of the NFL on defense. Michael Parsons is a one-man wrecking crew. He's the rebirth of DT.
Don't say it.
The rebirth of LT.
Don't say it.
He is.
You better stop. That's blasphemy.
Nope.
That's blasphemy.
I said it. I'll say it again. He is that. He is him.
That we inside. Struck one.
He's him on the defense side of the ball.
He is him, but he ain't DT or LT.
We will see against the G-Men. We will see him.
Go Giants.
Last but not least, Monday Night Football. Off of the Hawafa Dark Retreat.
All the Jets. The Jets. Buffalo. Oh.
It's at the Jets.
Yep.
In
New York. I'll be at that game too. They play
Monday. I'll get it. Say, how you got
Giants and Dallas play Sunday night.
Yep.
And then Jets and Buffalo play.
They're going to flip the stadium. Josh Allen is bringing Stephon Diggs. He ain't got no running back, but
I think Buffalo wins that game. I'm basing it on 2 things. I'm basing that on Buffalo has
Gabe Davis.
In the last 2 or 3 years, they start fast. They don't end well. So I think they'll start fast. They have cohesiveness. They pretty much got the same team coming back. To whereas the Jets, a lot of unknowns, first-time guys out of here trying to put it all together.
The Jets defense.
The Jets defense legit.
That defensive line is just some studs. They just got some stud muffins.
But you know what's going to happen. Josh Allen going to be running around like a chicken with his head cut off, and that defensive line going to be gassed. The first game, they're going to be gassed. I like Buffalo in that game.
Wait, man, listen, that wraps up the show. Again, man, thank y'all for listening. Hey, man, listen to all the different programs on KCSN. We just going to be shooting y'all knowledge and insight, little nuggets of wisdom. If you don't know, now you know. This is the process. Is always greater than the product. Once again, I'm Shawn Barber, a main man, Dante Hall, the X Factor coming at you. Hey, man, y'all be blessed. Have a good time, and we'll see you next week.